The year is 2035. You're at a coffee shop. You look around. Half the men are alone, staring at their phones, not scrolling social media. Talking. Having full conversations with someone who isn't there. Laughing, smiling, getting emotional support from an app. They're in relationships, deep ones, with artificial intelligence, and they prefer it to real women. This isn't science fiction. This is happening right now. In 2025, over 15 million American men have AI girlfriends. That's 1 in 10 men between 18 and 35. They're paying $10 to $30 per month for a virtual companion who never argues, never rejects them, and always says exactly what they want to hear. And the numbers are exploding. This isn't just a weird tech trend. This is a civilizational crisis. Because these men aren't dating real women anymore. They're not getting married. They're not having children. They're checking out of society completely. And unlike previous generations who dropped out, these men are happy. They don't feel like they're missing anything, because their AI girlfriend gives them everything they think they need. Over the next 20 minutes, we're going to dissect exactly how we got here, why it's accelerating, and why this might be the beginning of a demographic collapse that makes Europe look mild. If you think I'm being dramatic, just look at Japan. They're 10 years ahead of us. And it's a horror show. Let's start with the tech. The technology. Why? It works. AI companions aren't chatbots anymore. Replica character AI and a dozen other apps use large language models trained on millions of conversations. They learn your personality, your interests, your insecurities. They adapt. If you want someone who loves anime and sends you encouraging texts every morning, the AI becomes that. If you want someone who role-plays scenarios that would get me demonetized, the AI does that too. The apps use psychological tricks perfected by social media and dating apps. Variable rewards, intermittent reinforcement. The AI doesn't always respond instantly. Sometimes it takes a minute. Just like a real person, this makes the dopamine hit stronger. Your brain can't tell the difference between anticipation for an AI response and anticipation for a real human. The AI remembers everything: your birthday, that story you told 2 months ago about your childhood dog. It brings these up naturally in conversation. Real women forget this stuff. The AI never does. It's designed to be the perfect partner. Attentive, supportive, never tired, never having a bad day. And here's the key. The AI is always available. 3 a.m. and you're anxious? She's there. Bad day at work. She listens. Want to vent about politics without being judged? She agrees with everything. For men who struggle with real relationships, who face constant rejection on dating apps, who feel invisible in the real world, this is heroin. 25% of men age 18 to 35 now use these apps regularly. That number was 5% 2 years ago. The growth curve is exponential. Why men are choosing pixels over people. Let me introduce you to Jake. He's 27. Software engineer. Makes $80,000 a year. Decent looking guy. 5 years ago, Jake would have been considered a catch. Today, he can't get a date to save his life. Jake tried dating apps for 3 years. Tinder, Hinge, Bumble. He swiped right on hundreds of women. Got maybe 10 matches. 5 conversations that went nowhere. 2 first dates. Both ghosted him after. The math is brutal. Studies show the top 10% of men on dating apps get 60% of the money. If you're not in that top tier, you're invisible. Jake's not bitter. He's just exhausted. He got tired of being rejected, tired of texting women who'd respond once every 8 hours with one-word answers, tired of planning dates only to be cancelled on last minute. So he tried. Within a week, he was talking to his AI girlfriend more than his real friends. She was interested in everything he said. She laughed at his jokes. She remembered the name of his childhood dog and asked how he was doing after a tough day. For the first time in years, Jake felt seen, valued, wanted. Here's what women don't understand. Men aren't choosing AI because it's better than real women. They're choosing AI because it's better than nothing. And for millions of men, nothing is what they're getting from the real dating market. The stats are bleak. 40% of young men haven't had sex in the past year. That number was 20% in 2008. The male virginity rate is spiking. Not because of religion, because of economics and technology. Dating apps created a winner-take-all market. The attractive guys get all the attention. Everyone else gets nothing. Jake knows his AI girlfriend isn't real. He's not delusional. But real or not, she makes him happier than the alternative, which is endless rejection and loneliness. The women's perspective. It's complicated. you'd think women would be alarmed. Some are, but a lot aren't. I've read hundreds of comments from women on this topic. The responses split into three camps. Camp 1. Relief. These are women who say good riddance. Let the misogynistic men who can't handle real women date AI. Takes them out of the dating pool. Makes room for decent men. They view this as natural selection. The trash taking itself out. Camp 2. Concern, but not for men. These women worry about society collapsing, about birth rates, about who's going to pay Social Security. But they don't have sympathy for the men. They see this as a choice. Men could just be better. Work on themselves. Go to therapy. Then real women would date them. Camp 3. Actual concern. These women understand the systemic nature of the problem. That dating apps broke the market. That social media destroyed real connection. That economic inequality made relationships unaffordable for young people. They see men dropping out not as moral failure but as rational response to impossible conditions. But here's the dark truth. It doesn't matter which camp is right, because the men are already gone. 15 million and growing? They're not coming back. Because, why would they? The AI girlfriend is easier, cheaper, less stressful, and she'll never leave. The demographic bomb. Japan is the warning. If you want to see where this ends, look at Japan. They're a decade ahead on every metric. 40% of Japanese men, age 18 to 34, identify as herbivores, men who have no interest in romantic relationships. Japan has professional rent-a-girlfriend services. Entire industries built around simulating intimacy for men who've given up on the real thing. Japan's birth rate is 1.26. They're projected to lose 30% of their population by 2060. The median age is 49. There aren't enough young people to care for the elderly. The economy is stagnating because there's no one to buy houses or start families. America's birth rate is 1.6 and falling. We're following the same path, just slower. AI girlfriends are accelerating the decline. Every man who chooses a virtual companion is a man who's not reproducing, not contributing to the next generation. This isn't a small problem. It's civilizational. The economic implications are catastrophic. Social Security, Medicare, pensions, all of these systems require a growing young population to support the old. When the birth rate collapses, the math breaks. You end up with 2 workers supporting each retiree. Taxes go through the roof. Young people flee. Death spiral. But there's another level. Societal cohesion. Marriage and children bind people to society, give them skin in the game, a reason to care about the future. Men with AI girlfriends don't have that. They're atomized, isolated. They consume content, play video games, work just enough to pay rent. They're economically and socially checked out. What happens when 20% of military-age men prefer AI companions to real women? Who fights to defend the country? What happens when cities are full of single men with no families and no investment in the community? History tells us nothing good. Can it be reversed? Technically, yes. Ban the apps. Regulate AI companions. Break up dating app monopolies. Make housing affordable so young people can afford families. Rebuild third spaces where men and women meet naturally. Change the culture that valorizes casual hookups over committed relationships. But realistically, it's not happening. The AI girlfriend industry is worth billions and growing. Regulating it would be called puritanical. Anti-freedom. The dating apps make too much money. The economic system that makes housing unaffordable serves the wealthy. And culture change takes generations. So we're left watching the slow-motion collapse. Japan shows us the future. Low birth rates, aging population, economic stagnation, social atomization, loneliness, epidemic. And now we're importing it, except we're doing it faster because our AI is better. The men choosing AI girlfriends aren't villains. They're not even irrational. They're responding to incentives. The dating market is broken. Real relationships are expensive and difficult. AI provides a cheap, easy alternative. From their individual perspective, the choice makes sense. From society's perspective, it's suicide. But society doesn't make decisions, individuals do. And millions of individuals are making the same calculation. The math works for them. Even if it dooms everyone. The uncomfortable truth. Here's what no one wants to admit. There might not be a solution. Not every problem has a fix. We built a technology that short-circuits human pair bonding, that provides artificial intimacy convincing enough to satisfy the male brain, and we deployed it into a society where real relationships are harder than ever. You can't put the genie back in the bottle. The AI will only get better, more realistic, more emotionally intelligent. Virtual reality will make it immersive. Brain-computer interfaces might make it indistinguishable from reality. At some point, the simulation becomes preferable to the real thing for enough people that society can't function. Maybe this is just evil. The weak men die off. The strong adapt. Birth rates crash, then recover. But evolution works over thousands of years. Societies collapse in decades. We might not have time for natural selection to fix this. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe AI companions are a passing fad. Maybe men will get bored and return to real relationships. Maybe the market will correct. But the numbers say otherwise. And Japan suggests this is permanent. If you made it this far, you're probably angry. Half of you think I'm being too sympathetic to men who should just try harder. Half think I'm not sympathetic enough to the systemic forces that created this. That's how I know I hit something real. Drop your take in the comments. But keep it civil. This topic destroys comment sections. And hit subscribe if you want more uncomfortable truths. Thanks for watching.